no matter ethnicity, should not be controversial in this chamber.
To be clear, from the river to the sea, as someone who's Jewish, means to exterminate my people. I understand that my colleague, the gentlelady from Michigan, thinks that this is some kind of aspirational message. It's a joke.
I have said to Ms. Tlaib myself that the phrase from the river to the sea is abhorrent to me, but I would never think of punishing her or disciplining her because we disagree about that.
When she chants from the river to the sea, she believes it. She believes Israel should be eradicated.
She is the only Palestinian American in the Congress. Her perspective reflects many that she represents, especially when it's not twisted.
My criticism has always been of the Israeli government and Netanyahu's actions. The idea that criticizing the government of Israel is anti-Semitic sets a very dangerous precedent.
What more can you say, right? I mean, pure Nazism, right? You should be afraid, but not of Hamas, right? You should be very, 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 very afraid, but not of Hamas, you see. See, Hamas, they only have like AK-40. Go look at the videos. They're running around with like, you know, AK-47s and maybe some RPGs, right? These motherfuckers got on tennis shoes, Adidas sweatpants, dirty t-shirts, and RPGs and Kalashnikovs, right? AK-47s. And I'm not saying that that can't create a problem, right? But obviously, Hamas doesn't have the ability to control the United States government, right? They don't control whole entire governments. Hamas can't move around, can't move the entire U.S. military from the coast of Virginia to the coast of Lebanon and the coast of Palestine and the coast of Iran. Hamas can't do that, right? Hamas can't, you know what I mean, arbitrarily move the government of, you know, pressure and move the government of the United States and Israel, right? But these people, they can, and they did, right? So you should be very, very afraid of these people, you see. See, when you talk about true terrorism, see, true terrorism, right, is what you see them doing to people right now, right? They told this lady that they didn't like her WhatsApp status. Are you fucking kidding me? You don't like somebody's WhatsApp status, so you arrest them and charge them with terrorism. What's more Nazi than that? Right? So they're arresting people because of social media posts. So not even social media posts, your WhatsApp status. I don't even know if you know what that is, right? I mean, this is like the most innocuous shit in the world, right? The most, you know, just sterile shit in the world. I'm at the bakery or whatever, I guess, and you take some pictures of some buns or whatever, right? And then somebody comes and arrests you. What are you doing at that bakery? We don't like the people that run that bakery, so they arrest you for being at the bakery because you took a picture of some buns at a bakery and they think the people at the bakery are hostile, so they arrest you. I mean, just anything. I mean, basically some arbitrary shit, right? So they can make up arbitrary shit and arrest you. Or in the case of Rashida Tlaib, they can make up some arbitrary shit and say, well, we don't like that phrase that you're using. We find that offensive. We want you fired from your job. We want you ejected from the U.S. Congress. Well, what if I think the phrase is okay? Well, we get to decide. So, you get to decide what words mean. So these people get to redefine the meaning of words, the meaning of phrases, and basically, well, we think this is a terrorist phrase, you're under arrest. Or we think this is a hostile phrase or offensive, right? any set of words, right? We can redefine the word Semite to mean white people, right? With Semite, see, most people don't even know what the word Semite means. They just know Kanye West is anti-Semitic. And then if you say, well, what does the word Semite mean? They say, well, I don't know. Oh, okay. Maybe you should look it up, right? But they're not going to allow that kind of discussion, because they'll say, well, the discussion of the meaning of the word anti-Semite is racist against me and terrorist. That's terrorism. And if you try to look up the definition of anti-Semitism, or the word Semite or Shemite, which is his root word, then that's terrorism and racism. I mean, this is really what it's come down to. So you should be very afraid of people like this, where they say, if you watch they say, well, if you watch a certain criminalizing the consumption of terrorist materials. So you could watch, for instance, a news report, and they say, well, that's a consumption of terrorist material, you're under arrest. This is what the Americans are doing and the Israelis are doing. You should be afraid. I made a video, I said, we moving into extremely dangerous times. Right after that, that's when Hamas attacked, all this shit started happening, a bunch of other shit. You should be very afraid of these people. People like Joe Biden and all these people, they're getting desperate. And desperate people do crazy shit. Right? Like Hamas, you know what I mean? Different groups, you see people start getting desperate, they start doing crazy shit. They got desperate, did something crazy, but they're dealing with people that are desperate to hold on to power. Netanyahu is about to be thrown out of power. This was a gift for him, because under the War Act, now he can just commit war crimes and stay in power, right? And get the green light. What's funny is people in their own country don't like a lot of them, but they tell you, they come to America and tell you, you have to love them. Even though people in their own country hate them, their own people hate them, right? And want them gone from power, right? There are, Orthodox Jews that are against what they're doing, but they tell you, you have to love them, you see, and go along with whatever they want, when their own people don't. This is pure Nazism. You should be very afraid, right? Not to mention the fact that they control, how is it that you have people that you elected in the United States that have sworn allegiance to a foreign country? Isn't that treason? I thought that was treason, right? It's one thing to cooperate with people, right? It's another thing to swear allegiance to them no matter what they do, right? This is like, I cooperate with motherfuckers, but I don't swear no allegiance to nobody but the Lord of hosts. You see? I cooperate with motherfuckers because I go along to get along. You see? Business, basic level of cooperation. And I always do the least, right? I'm doing the least to get by with fucking with them. I don't swear no allegiance to no fucking body. I'll put a gun to your head. Well, go ahead and pull the trigger. I'm not swearing no allegiance to you, right? You can eat a dick. Not mine, because I don't invite people to my genitals, but you can go eat a dick somewhere, right? I don't swear allegiance to just random people, random groups. I swear allegiance to Ukraine. I swear allegiance to Israel. I swear allegiance to, whatever, the KK. I swear allegiance to anything, right? Negro, you just swear allegiance to anything, right? These people are standing up in the Congress swearing allegiance to foreign countries. And nobody bats an eye about that shit. It's one thing to cooperate, it's another thing to swear allegiance. No matter what they do, you swear allegiance to them. That's some Nazi shit, right? That you get forced by threat of terrorism, getting arrested or fired from your job, right? Or killed, that you have to swear allegiance to Israel. This is the synagogue of Satan. You see? When you start to be forced to swear allegiance or die, you should be very afraid. You see? And I mean, that's what, I mean, I'm not making, you might say, well, you're being bombastic. You just saw it for yourself. Now, who you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? You just saw it for yourself. Basically, the U.S. Congress stand up telling people they got to swear allegiance to Israel. And if they decide something is terroristic phrases, right, even though it may not be, right, they get to redefine words. And anything you say, you know, well, that's terrorism, right? If you disagree with me, I don't like what you say, well, that's terrorism. If you watch a certain news report, that's terrorism. I arrest you or I kill you, right? You know how it is. Botch raid, you get smoked. I think they done smoked like maybe 300 people in Israel, Palestinians, in botch raids in the past probably month. Go look it up for yourself. You should be very afraid, right? When you got your own president, Joe Biden, and all these people swearing allegiance to Israel, the synagogue of Satan, right? And then going after their own people, right? The Democrats going after each other, right? Swearing allegiance to, they stumbling over themselves to try to throw people out of Congress and shut them down in Congress, right? Because they won't swear allegiance, right? And then they start to be in the thought police, and they say, well, whatever you say, that's terrorism, or whatever you think, or whatever you watch on TV. You watch CNN, but you should be watching Fox News, and if you watch CNN, well, that's terrorism. You're consuming terrorist material, right? What? If you watch, that's the same shit. See, that's what they did to Kyrie Irving. But niggas let him get away with it. Because a nigger in America is a coward, is a natural born coward. And you didn't force them to stop, so now they getting out, they out of control. You let them basically do the same thing that Kyrie Irving said, that he watched this Negro, the Hebrews film, and it's basically a terrorist, racist film. That's the same thing they're doing in Palestine. That's the same thing they're doing in the Congress now. You're consuming terrorist material. Hebrews and Negroes is terrorist material. Kyrie Irving consumed that, and he didn't, you know, he just posted a tweet. He consumed that. He has to be fired, possibly assassinated or something, right? And people let him get away with it. You didn't think it was going to get worse? It just got worse overnight, literally, right? So they went from Hebrews to Negroes being terrorist material, racist terrorist material. Now they over there, they just killed 10,000 people and arrested people saying, and you knew news reports or whatever they, basically it's whatever. You say, well, what is it? What is consumption of, you know, negative material? Oh, well, whatever we say. So any given day they wake up, just like they did Rashida Tlaib, they said, well, we don't like this phrase. We find it terrorist material. Well, we said, well, that's not what it is. Well, we said it is. You gotta get fired from your job, right? You got to be arrested, like, you know, fired, like Kyrie Irving, or arrested, or you may have to be killed. In some cases, like these people in Palestine, you may have to be killed. You should be afraid, right? Do you motherfuckers not understand what's happening? You should be very, very, very afraid, right? But you probably not, right? It's sort of like a motherfucker, right? And they walking along a path, and behind a bush up here is 3 huge man-eating beasts. But they skipping along, texting on their phone. Where you should be afraid and cautious. You're just, you know, skipping along down a path, not realizing you're about to skip into the path of 3 man-eating beast, right? You should be very afraid. But people are not. It's a joke to them, right? It's not no joke when you picking up your babies and putting them in pillowcases, walking down the dusty road with sandals on, with parts of 2 of your kids in a pillowcase. You see? That's when it's not, I guess it doesn't become a joke anymore at that point, right? Or they put you in a fucking cell, indefinite detention, right? For a WhatsApp post. Or say that, they say you said a phrase you quoted a quote on your WhatsApp status or on Facebook that they didn't like. So you gotta go to jail. You said, when I'm gonna get out? Well, we don't know. Where's my lawyer? You don't get a lawyer. You're a terrorist. But I didn't do anything. Well, we said we don't like that phrase. And we find that phrase to be terrorism. You said, this is illegal. Well, yeah, I know, but just go in there before we shoot you in the face. Just get in that cell, right? We know it's illegal. We know that, we just made that up. But either you get in that cell or we bring in these guards, say you resisting, and we beat you to death. That's your two choices. Where's my lawyer? We already explained that to you. You got 3 seconds to get in the cell. See, you should be very afraid, right? Like motherfuckers, I forgot I was watching this movie. He said, you should be running now. I think the motherfucker was about to turn into a werewolf or a vamp or something. And he told the motherfucker, you should be running now. You need to get away. And the motherfucker started running off, and he turned into a werewolf and tried to eat him. Right? But you should be very afraid. You should be running now. You see? You should be running away from this shit. But people are not. They're embracing it. Right? They are fully embracing, Satan, the synagogue of Satan. Right? As they stand up, the most vicious Nazi machine that has probably ever existed in the history of the world. You see? I said that in the video. I said this is the most dangerous time in human history. I was right. When you see people, from the U.S. Congress to the Middle East, right? To North Africa and the Middle East, right? To Russia, Ukraine, where you see these people doing shit that would make Hitler blush. You see? And it's just the beginning. They just getting warmed up. They've been getting warmed up for 70 years, 100, a couple hundred years. But this part here is really just getting warmed up. Right? You should be afraid when they say, well, anything you say, anything, we'll redefine anything and we'll arrest you or kill you. That's what they're doing to people. Right? You say, but I'm not with Hamas. I'm a Christian. I'm a Arab, Christian Arab, Palestinian. Well, we don't care. Right? We don't care about that. You're going to prison. Or, they shoot you or whatever, bomb you. Right? They bombed a bunch of, Christian Arabs in a church. Right? In Palestine. You see? It didn't matter that they weren't, in a militant Islamist group. That didn't matter to them. You see? They're killing journalists, anybody, right? And now from the U.S. Congress to over there in Palestine, Israel, right? They're making laws and they're trying to create an atmosphere of where you can't, if whatever you say, it could be terrorism. They could redefine anything you say. Anything you say can be redefined as terrorism. Right? or whatever they say, hate speech, right? When you let them randomly do that, like you let YouTube, you let them do it to Kyrie Irving, you let them do it to Kanye West. You see how shit get out of hand? People kept letting them do it, right? You see when you don't stand up to bullies, you see how it get out of control. Next thing they know, they're genociding people. I mean, that's the natural progression, right? Particularly the Negro, how you let them do that to you. You watch them do it to Kanye West. You watch them do it to Kyrie Irving. You watch them do it to Nick Cannon. And you let them do it and you lick their boots. And then you watch them commit a genocide, right? Now, right? I mean, this has all happened over the past, let's say, 24 months. And now you're watching them, fast forward, you're watching them in 24-month period from Kanye to Kyrie to Nick Cannon to all of this. Now you're watching them commit a genocide, right? Now, in the midst of that genocide, you're watching them. I'm going to say this and I'm going to go. In the midst of that genocide that Joe Biden, all these people are giving weapons to and helping to commit and giving a green light to, all this war criminal activity, right? And this genocide of babies and unarmed people and Christians and everybody. You watching them redefine words. Like they can redefine Semite. If you say river to the sea, if you anything you say, anything you post, you could be arrested or shot and killed for. Right? You could be raided. You know, everybody, the nigger in America know how it go, Breonna Taylor. You know how the raids go, right? They raid your house, you know, like they some fucking, robbers or something. You throw a rock at them and then they kill you in your living room. You know, they open fire with like 400 machine guns and shoot you in your living room. Right? You should be very afraid, right? But you should have been afraid when you seen them do that to Kanye West 2 years ago before this all started, or Kyrie Irving, or Nick Cannon. You should have stood up then, right, and been afraid, like, wait a minute. This is some Nazi shit. This is going to get out of hand. This has to be stopped, right? But people didn't. They cowered, and they let them do that to them people. Instead of telling them that they wrong and instead, to push back against them. Now, it done went too far now. They out of control. You should be afraid now. You didn't let them get out of control. And my thing, I'm going to say this, I'm going to go. If they let them do this in the U.S. Congress, right? If they're trying to greenlight this shit in the U.S. Congress, they're greenlighting it in Israel, right? They're greenlighting it everywhere. What are you going to do? You can't hide, right? They're greenlighting this type of behavior everywhere. This shit is straight Nazism, right? Straight up and down Nazism, right? I mean, what else can you explain it as? You see, this is the synagogue of Satan, right? This is the work of the Antichrist, the devil, right? The Nazi is an Antichrist operative. The synagogue of Satan, you see, and these Nazis are operatives of the Antichrist. They work for the devil, right? And I ain't trying to be spooky, use no spooky language on you. You need to understand what that means. It's not a game, right? It's not a game, right? They trying to stand up the Fourth Reich, you see. The Third Reich was Hitler, and now they're trying to stand up the Fourth Reich and the final Reich, right? Reich is a German word meaning the rule of the rich, right? Nazi is just the rule of the rich and the racist. Right? That's it. You see? They're standing that up right now. You see? And they're gonna steamroll motherfuckers. They're steamrolling motherfuckers. Right? You should be afraid, you know, for your children, your grandchildren, your family, right? But not in a way, in a way that, you know, not in a way that you got a jelly, you know, you got, you know, a jelly spine, you know, afraid in a way that, you know what I mean? You stay on swivel, right? You stay on swivel and level up. That way, right? Don't be a goofy, right? Because if they, I'm going to say this and I'm going to go. If they did this to them, what do you think they would do to you? You see? If they do this kind of outlandish, outrageous, unfathomable shit to them, to people, Rashida Tlaib in Congress, all around the United States. I mean, they firing people everywhere, all around the U.S. They submitting bills in the United States that you have to swear allegiance to Israel or you lose your job. They got a bill like that in Texas. They got a bill like that, I think, in certain other states. This is straight up Nazism. You have to swear allegiance to the synagogue of Satan. Revelations 2 and 9. The people that are passing these bills are so-called Christians. Right? Hold on. Stand by. Yeah, I wanted to close on this. Washington Post, so you know, you say, you're being bombastic, you're making this up. The Washington Post, she lost her job after refusing to sign a pro-Israel pledge. Now she's filing a lawsuit. They're passing bills in the United States, right? These people screaming in Congress to support the synagogue of Satan, that you have to sign, you're going to have to sign the mark of the beast, right? What's the mark of the beast, right? You got to take the mark of the beast, or you can't eat, work, or travel, right? She lost her job after refusing to sign a pro-Israel pledge. She's trying to file a lawsuit. The courts are stacked with these people, right? You should be afraid, right? She lost her job. You have to sign pro-Israel pledges to work. I think this was in Texas, right? Oh, the land of the free, home of the brave, home of the slave. What are you talking about, right? They're making you sign agreements to work. This is the mark of the beast, right? That doesn't bother you? You think that's cool? That's a foreign country. Why should I have to sign a pact to a foreign country to get a job? Why can they come over here and how can they harass me in America? Satan can harass you anywhere on the planet. My boy, what are you talking about? Anywhere in the universe, until he gets destroyed, him and his army, right? You gonna have to soon. You got sign. You gonna have to sign loyalty to Satan, right? Stand by. Revelations 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right? This is the mark of the beast. You see? But you don't know who the beast is. You don't know who the Antichrist is. You don't read the book of Ezra, the prophecy of Ezra and the Antichrist. You don't do shit. You don't know what's going on. Right? You don't know who the armies of Satan, the Antichrist on earth are, who his operatives are, how they moving, how they operating. You don't know anything. Right? You don't know anything. You love Barack Obama, the Democrat, Joe Biden, he and the KKK, he's a Nazi, you don't care. support Israel, right? But now soon you gotta take their name or you won't get a job, right? Revelations 13 and 17. And that no man might buy or sell save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? See, you gotta take the mark of the beast. She lost her job after refusing to sign a pro-Israel pledge. She had to take the name of the beast, right? Now she's filing a lawsuit. You can't protest the Antichrist. You can't file a lawsuit against the Antichrist and the devil and his army. That's not how it works, right? You can read the Bible. Christ didn't sign it. He didn't file a lawsuit. He didn't go to court when he got attacked by Satan. Right? He didn't say, wait a minute, let me go to the Pharisees or somebody, the government. I got to file a lawsuit. Right? She refused to take the name of the beast, right? And she got fired in America. This wasn't in Israel. This was in the United States, in Texas, I believe. You should be afraid, right? Kyrie Irving, all this shit, ring a bell, Nick Cannon, Kanye West. You let it slide, it's all good. Kiki, ha ha, it gets worse, right? Let's do one more. I'm going to end on this, right? Revelations 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet and know that I love thee. Do I need to read it again? Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, the Antichrist, which say they are Jewish, Jews, but they are not Jews. They're not from the tribe of Judah. They do not descend from Judah, right? Or the people of Jerusalem. But they do lie. They from Europe, right? I will make them come and I will make them bow down and worship at your feet. They will be brought low. They will be destroyed. They will be forced to tell the truth about what and who they are. Revelations 3 and 9. Right? That said that, not me. Right? These are the people, right, that somehow have co-opted the American government and are getting people fired from their job because you won't sign a pro-Jewish, pro-Israeli pledge. You won't take the mark of the beast, right? So you can't work and you can't eat, right? You can't do anything. And no man might buy or sell save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of the name. The name of the beast. What's the name of the beast? Or the name of the beast. You didn't sign, you didn't take the name. You didn't sign the name. Take the name. A pro-Israel lobby. Right? Right? The synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, right? But they are not, and they lied, right? You got to take their name. I'm gone. That's it. You know what I mean? This shit ain't rocket science, right? But you should be afraid, right? At this point, you know, maybe you'll lose your job. You can't eat. You have to take the name of the beast. A lot of you see, but that, you know why y'all not, a lot of people not afraid? They basically submitted to Satan. They took the name of the beast. They swore allegiance. The Congressional Black Caucus swore an allegiance to Israel and all Jewish people, right? The Negro in America swore allegiance. That's why I said people gonna be destroyed in America, right? You took the mark of the beast. They said, well, the mark of the beast is a chip. Well, this don't say the mark is a beast. The mark of the beast is a chip. It says the mark of the beast in Revelations 13. It says the name of the beast, right? No man might buy or sell unless he take the name of the beast. So it could be a name, right? A mark or a number of his name. You see, you have to, when you sign an oath, a pro-Israel, you're taking on their name. So you ain't take a chip in you, but you took the mark of the beast, right? You signed a contract with the devil, right? You signed the contract with the Antichrist. You agreed to cooperate with the Antichrist, with Satan the devil, and you forfeited your soul. You sold your soul to the devil. That's all I got.